This is episode 1 of the Blkdmnd golf podcast. I got my boy Dougie here. What's your Instagram handle, buddy?
What's going on? Yeah, it's just my name at Dougie Barnard. So you can find me on Instagram there, and then I also post on YouTube as well, just Dougie Barnard.
Heck yeah. If y'all don't know who he is, just look up the Thegolfclan.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That works as well.
It's a famous golf clan. He's out there taking people down on the course. Go watch his vlogs on YouTube. He's what you doing? Like it was those 3 guys versus you, right?
Yeah, I've done a 3-man scramble versus me. We had some chipping matches between you and I. We played out at Barnsley. You've been on some of my course vlogs as well, so it's good.
Yeah. We're gonna do that again. I think we're actually trying to plan on a Barnsley trip, right?
We should get back to Barnsley in the fall. It'd be so nice.
Yeah, I think October's gonna be prime. Like now that it's getting cooler.
Yeah.
Leagues are gonna start changing, especially up there in the mountains. Dude.
Oh. Yeah, 100%.
It's gonna be so good. So, anything? Have you played anywhere this weekend?
This past weekend, I recently went out to Chateau Lawn, so that's kind of the most recent round that I've played, and I've been there a lot lately. Kind of like they just have multiple courses, like really nice practice facility, and also just a good atmosphere. They have a restaurant with indoor, outdoor seating, and it's a kind of a good place you can just park, for like 6 hours or however much time you have, and get in as much golf as you can, practice, play. They have 2 different courses there, so it's a good spot for sure.
Dang, I need to get out there with you because I haven't been out there yet.
Yeah,
I've passed by it a few times, but just never stopped by to play it. No, is it in pretty good condition?
Yeah, the Chateau courses right now, it's in very good shape. The greens are as solid as I've seen them. Probably the fastest greens that I've seen at Chateau Lawn all the years right now. Dang. So the Chateau course is like super, super primo. And then the Woodlands course right now is a little bit tougher to get on. They're limiting play because of the bent grass greens and trying to keep the greens pure. There's just kind of a lot of ball marks right now after so much play all summer. Yeah. So they're trying to limit the tee times out there. But the layout of the Woodlands course is just phenomenal. It's just like beautiful, beautiful.
Really? Dang. Yeah. Okay. All right. Dang. Well, it seems like you have a lot of, accurate insight on
more real-time information about Atlanta golf,
about what's going on, because we to bring everybody into the loop, what we're talking about here. Buddy Dougie sent me a link to, I don't know, what's the name of the podcast? Is it No Laying Up?
No Laying Up, that's right.
The No Laying Up. I think they have another podcast where it's like 2 of the guys talking about, I don't know, whatever, more golf, just another branch off of No Laying Up, seems like. And so there were 2 of the guys, I guess, are from, I don't know if you want me to call them out or whatever names, but.
Yeah, I think it's Neil and Tron.
Yeah, Neil and Tron. He sent me the episode. It was like talking about Atlanta golf. And apparently they're both from Atlanta, some parts of Atlanta, maybe the outer suburbs. And so I was curious. I was like, okay, cool. They're talking about Atlanta golf, like who they're going to put on the map, who they're going to hype up. I was curious as to what they had, because I did not know they were from Atlanta.
Right, I didn't know either.
So I was curious to see what they would say. And right off the bat, they're like, yeah, so we get, questions about, Atlanta golf and all this other stuff. And they basically just go in and just start bashing all of the all the private clubs in the area. Like talking about how hard it is to get to, golf courses, and like just, saying from the routings that most of the private clubs are bad, and like how they're way out of the way. And so I was just like, I like some of the courses y'all named, so it's kind of like, mess up. And then they go into some of the public courses, and they're like, yeah, if you thought, us talking about the private courses was bad, like wait till we tell you about all the public courses. Like it's pretty much non-existent. I was like, dude, I play a public course almost every day, almost at least every weekend. So I'm like, dude, what are you like? It's not inaccessible to get to play golf. It's for at least as far as some of the private memberships I've heard, some of the private memberships are um, pretty good price right now. Like people are kind of making, they're either cutting their initiation fees in half, or they're just waiving them altogether at some places. And then, I mean, like I said, I mean, golf is booming right now because there's nothing else to do. Um, so I thought the whole podcast in general was like, it wasn't fair. Some of the information too was, I wouldn't say totally inaccurate, but it's kind of, you can tell that they haven't played in Atlanta in a long time. Like you can tell they don't live here anymore or don't play around here anymore. So for me and Dougie, we were like, dude, we gotta put Atlanta on the map. We gotta speak up for Atlanta golf because these guys are not doing us any justice, right?
Yeah, and I want to look up the name of the podcast just in case there's anyone that wants to go and listen to it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you're
yeah,
right, it's not the main No Laying Up pod. It's like a separate branch off pod,
yeah,
and it's called Crash Course. It's Crash
yeah.
Course episode 12, Atlanta Golf. So if anyone wants to go search for it and listen to it, um, and kind of just feel a little bit more depressed about Atlanta golf, go ahead. Or stay here and we'll give you more of a realistic perspective of what's
Yeah,
happening here.
yeah, man, yeah. I was like, what the hell? Because I think when you sent it to me, I was out at Deer Valley, um, which is a perfectly accessible, nice practice area, in the Roswell, Alpharetta area. I was there practicing, doing some short game work, and you sent me that. I was like, okay, cool. Let's do some golf and see what these guys have to say while I'm practicing golf and just be a golf harder right now. And I was listening. I was like, man, let me just turn on some music or something, man. This is depressing. Like, this is just totally wrong. I was like, dude, screw this. Let's do our own episode and and talk about Atlanta golf. So for me, um, growing up in Atlanta, I did not play golf like originally. So I guess around the time Tron and his buddy Neil were playing golf, I was not playing golf whatsoever. But
Yeah.
now that I have jumped into the game, well, dove into the game extensively. I mean, I'm trying to play golf all the time. So, like, I find that living in, I'm in Brookhaven. So I'm just inside the perimeter. So for me, I feel like there's, I mean, at least 5 or 6 courses that I can get to within like 15, 20 minutes to go play. So as far as accessibility, I mean, I don't feel like there's a huge, lacking problem there. And then for you, you're in Buckhead, right?
So
Or
I live
Midtown.
in Midtown. Yeah, that's right.
So you got Bobby Jones closer to you than anything
Yeah,
else.
Bobby Jones is right there. And I mean, if you wanted to, just talking about accessibility, you could, hit up Candler Park and just kind of walk out there. It's very casual. Might cost like $10 to play 9 holes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's definitely another in town option. Pretty low
Yeah,
key.
you got that, and then I want to say, is that just? I guess just outside on the south side would be Browns Mill.
Yeah, that's right.
Um, and then I think there's also, I want to say Alfred Tubb Homes.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not in great condition, but I mean it's golf. You know what I'm saying? We're saying what's close, close to the city. You got Bobby
Charlie
Jones.
Yates.
Yeah, Charlie Yates is right there by East Lake. So then you got Bobby Jones, and then you said Candler. I mean that's 5 courses right there that are 20 minutes, probably max from
Right.
just Midtown from where you're at.
Yeah.
So I mean if you want to play some golf, there you go. There's public courses. Bobby Jones is actually a great out of the 5. I would say Bobby Jones is probably the best. It's a little busy right now just
Yeah.
because of COVID and everything. So everyone wants to get out and walk or try to get out of the house. But it's always in good condition.
Oh
Wish
yeah.
it had a little bit bigger, I guess, putting and chipping area. That would be cool if it was a little bigger or if it had 2. Um, but the driving range itself is in great shape. They have a great academy over there. People can get lessons, and they have junior academy for the kids. I know I played out there a lot this summer. They had train full of kids just running around getting lessons and playing golf. So for the community, like I mean, it's pretty accessible. Everyone who lives around that area, they seem to like it. There's, I mean, it's always busy. If you wake up at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, try to get tee time, like you're probably not getting out there until maybe noon or later because everything gets booked up so fast, man.
Yeah, there's a lot going on at Bobby Jones, and I've just seen so much change so fast. So I only played the full 18 hole course one time.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, I only played it once, man.
Dang. Dang.
Yeah, and I thought like for the money, it's a pretty good course. I
Right.
know that, some people had certain gripes about the drainage, and it was a little bit of a free for all in terms of the holes ran up next to each other. So I'm not
Right.
saying it's perfect, but I paid probably $30 maybe,
Mhm.
and got to ride a cart and felt like, wow, this is pretty good value here right in the city. But
Mhm.
in terms of like the new course and everything that they built, I mean, you covered some of the highlights, but just like living in Midtown and being able to see, you know, they had a temporary clubhouse that was in a trailer for a little while, and then they had a grass range, which was awesome. And so just having a grass range in the city is just huge for people
Mhm.
that weren't able to really have access to easy, practice off of grass. So that's been huge. And then, like you said, they built like this new, call it indoor practice facility, so you can kind of hit balls out of the garage in the winter, get lessons, etc. Work with the PGA Tour Superstore for fittings and stuff. And then
Mhm.
now they built this huge, I think it's called like the William Murray Golf Clubhouse, which is monstrosity of a clubhouse there. And I think they're housing offices for GSGA. And there's just kind of a lot of offices, partnerships going on there. And then you covered the junior program. I mean, talk about accessibility for
Mhm.
golf, for juniors. There's just always kids camps. They have a little, I think it's a 5 or 6 hole short course
Yeah. Yeah.
that they do a lot of kids programs at. So holes between 50 and 70 yards. So it's a great place to be a kid and learn golf and practice golf. And there's always kids there. So they
Oh,
have
yeah.
good programs there. They're actually building I think it's a Himalayan putting green,
Yeah.
a la Sweetens Cove, trying to kind of borrow off of what's working at Sweetens. I haven't seen the Sweetens. That's a whole nother.
Oh,
Once you talk
yeah.
about Sweetens, man, you could lose track of time. There's like an
Exactly.
hour. Yeah, exactly. But they're trying to kind of provide more versatility and more things to do. Like once they get you on property, they want to keep you there. So the
Mhm.
putting green right now looks like it's honestly not too far away from opening. It's growing, the grass is growing there, but there's super crazy hills on the putting greens. I think once that's all said and done, that
Mhm.
putting course is going to be pretty sweet. So to
Mhm.
have that there, I mean, you mentioned the practice chipping and putting green at Bobby Jones. It's not great. I'd agree. I mean, like they don't have holes cut in it. That's kind of one of my biggest things. Is it'd be
Mhm.
nice if you could practice putting into a hole, even if you put foam in it or whatever to make it safe. I mean, just putting into a hole is nice. So they
Mhm.
just have sticks in the ground, and it's always kind of busy down there. I will say though, if you're really trying to practice your short game and you're like in the city, if you can get out to Bobby in the morning, man, there's no one at that like chipping green. I mean, like
Yeah.
you can feel like you're at a private club. And this is going back to what the guy said on the pod, right? It's just saying like, oh, you're kind of in a desert for good golf, and there's nowhere to really go. But just a public option, even if you're in the area and want to get better, go to Bobby Jones in the morning, man,
Mhm.
and you can have that green pretty much to yourself. And then the cool thing about that green is there's a little extension area like to the left of the green
Oh,
where
yeah.
you can kind of walk, you can go back and like recently when I was there, you can drop balls from 50 yards, 70 yards, hit it into
Mhm.
that practice green. So long as you're kind of fixing your ball marks and making sure you're taking care of the course, like it's a pretty decent spot. So yeah, I think like that kind of does Bobby Jones justice just in terms of like everything that they have going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the clubhouse just got finished, like you said, and I think they're about to open up the bar and grill in there soon. I mean, that thing is massive. Like,
Huge.
it's ridiculous. So, like, hopefully, people from Atlanta hear this podcast and they can all remember. I used to live probably like 5 minutes away from from the current Bobby Jones, but also from the old one. So like the old clubhouse with that crappy putting green in the front. I didn't even know there was a putting green there until I drove by it one day. I was like, oh, it's a little practice green. Cool. I had no idea. And then they had let's see, they had the clubhouse. I mean, the clubhouse was big too, but it was just, you can tell I've been there for forever.
Right.
And then I think some of the greens, I think 8 and let's see, maybe 2, hole number 2, and maybe another one were just burned up by the time I
Oof.
started playing there a bunch. And when I first played there, the first time I ever played there was probably like to 2015 maybe, when I had just bought my first, set of sticks, whatever. My buddy had one, him and his dad won, for, passes for us to go out and just play for free. So we go up there to Bobby Jones. This is when Bobby Jones was like nice. And we went out there and played, and I remember just hitting my ball way right. So for people who don't know, number 1 and number 10, or is it? Yeah, number 1 and number 10 are right there next to each other. Like the tee boxes are pretty much right there next to. So 1 fairway is right here, and 10 fairway is right there to the right. And so I went way right, and I think I went right on every hole. But I just remember almost hitting somebody and almost being hit a few times at that course. Because the fairways are, it's old school in the city, golf course. So all the fairways are next to each other. If you're not accurate, you can easily hit someone or get hit by someone. But it was, it was a place in the city. It was a cool place. Like I said, back then in 2015, it was pretty nice. The greens were fast, kind of similar to what they have at Cherokee.
Yeah.
Puppy greens is super fast, hard. You got a lot of you didn't really get much stoppage, no matter how much spin you could put on the ball. But it was a cool place. I loved it. It was right there, super close. When I was living right there in Buckhead. But what are some of what's another one of your favorite spots? Kind of.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this before hopping on with you, and just if I had to kind of rank or list my favorite public spots around the Atlanta area, I think it's hard for me to kind of distinguish. I think I see them in little like tiers, but I'd say like in that top tier of best public golf courses in the Atlanta area, I'd put Echelon, I'd put the Frog, I'd put Cherokee Run, I'd put Cobblestone. I want to throw in Bears Best. You can go ahead and throw that in there.
Yeah.
I think there's just a handful of courses that are like the type of places where if you have a tee time there, like you kind of wake up with that little giddiness. It's not just another day of going to tee it up. Like, you're teeing it up at Echelon, and like that's a special round. Like that's a little bit above kind of the quality of a lot of other public courses in the area. So those would kind of be some of mine right there. If you want to go further out, beyond an hour drive, then I'd definitely throw in a couple of the courses up north. And to their credit, the No Laying Up guys did cover these on the pod briefly. Was a Shasta is one of those, and then there's one more right near Shasta called Chastity. That's an awesome course as well. So I would mention those. I'd also, maybe if you want to mention one that's pretty far out, but it's a really unique course, Old Taco Farm. That's maybe an hour and a half away, but that course is incredible. A course that you and I have played at before, Barnsley. That's another public course, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, depending on where you live in the city. So there's really kind of a lot of very quality courses, especially once you expand that circle out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I have no choice but to agree. So it was just kind of weird. Let's think about it though. Like, what city that you know of has golf that like is within like a chip and a putt away from your house? You know what I'm saying? Like, talking about cities here, like Atlanta is a major city. It's becoming a huge hub for literally anything and everything. It's already the most flown into city probably in the world at this point. So you're talking about Los Angeles. There's no golf near or in Los Angeles. There's no golf in the city of New York. You know what I'm saying? So
especially public. Right?
Yeah, public golf. So it was like for Atlanta to have Bobby Jones, Brownsville, Candler, like within 20 minutes of literally living in the city. I think that's huge. I think that's a huge step up from some of the other bigger cities in the country. And then to be able to go 30 to 45 minutes outside of that and even have even better golf experiences. Like I don't think they did it Atlanta golf justice. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And just thinking about it further too, another course that's within 30 minutes from me in Midtown is West Pines. It's just on I-20
Yeah.
over in Douglasville, kind of on the way to Villa Rica. If you were going to play the Frog, you
Yeah.
might pass this big billboard that says like the best Bermuda greens or come try out our greens. And it's a great course. Like, it's just phenomenal course. It's great value. It's not as expensive as courses like Echelon, but it's an incredible course as well. So, I mean, that's within 30 minutes. And all this it's depending on traffic, right? Like you kind of covered that. It's right now there's a little bit less traffic, and there has been kind of since coronavirus came. So obviously if you're stuck in rush hour traffic in a major city, and Atlanta, is one of those top cities that has a lot of traffic and traffic problems, then maybe, it takes you a little bit further to get to some of these courses. And I think like the no laying up guys were saying, hey, we've been asked by a lot of our friends or a lot of people that listen to us, hey, I'm coming to Atlanta for a weekend. Where should I tee it up? So we wanted to kind of provide a course map for here are some of the spots that we recommend you teeing it up for the weekend. And I think one of them, said half jokingly but half serious, like sometimes I'll tell them like, don't even bother trying to go tee it up somewhere. It's like, it's not worth it.
Like, are you serious?
Yeah, like don't bother when you're visiting Atlanta trying to squeeze in golf, because you're just going to be disappointed, and there's nothing really that's worth your time.
I mean, when you're those guys, I feel like when you're those guys, you play so many great courses, but you kind of forget. Like, I mean, I've done that before. Like when COVID first started, the first 3 months of COVID, like I couldn't pay less than $30-$40 to go play anywhere because, but usually, so I'm a member or whatever at the players. What is it? Four Pass at so Browns Mill and Alfred Tupp and Chastain. They're all part of the city courses. So I mean I live probably 15 minutes, 10 minutes from Chastain. So I got a Four Pass. I can walk for free after 6 p.m. During the summer. Now this fall, I can walk for free after 4. And then, I get super discounted tee time. So if I want to ride it at the car, it's like $13 and I only pay $30.
Wow.
So like, and Chastain is usually in pretty good shape. Like it's, super close. And it's in, pretty good shape. It can be busy, or it used to be busier, before COVID. But anyway, the first 3 months of COVID, they were closed. So I couldn't go out there for cheap and play. I was playing all over the place. I was playing out in, Country Club of Gwinnett. I was in Echelon. I was all over the place, paying no less than $35, to play. So you get used to playing certain types of courses. You forget about old Chastain or Browns Mill, and you're like, dang, these games are slow when you get back out there, or I would never have this issue at Echelon. Blah blah blah. It's like I feel like for those guys, once you get to a certain point and you're playing, these top rated courses all the time, you kind of like, you kind of dog out where you came from. You kind of forget how good you had it growing up. Like I know Chastain or some of these other places aren't like, grade A or, private level courses, which they're public courses, so there's no such thing as private level. But I mean, I've been to some of these private places and I'm like, dude, I'll go play Echelon, or I'll go play, some of these other places
Because they're borderline on this of the same quality as some of the privates,
quality,
if not better.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll like to get the club court membership soon, and hopefully be able to check out some of their courses and see what they're like.
Yeah.
I feel like overall it can be affordable. I mean, I'm already paying X amount of dollars a month anyway to play golf publicly. So it'd be kind of cool to be able to have a membership somewhere and be able to practice whenever and whatnot, and kind of hopefully get somewhere with a little bit less, better pace of play. Because some of these private places are not as many members, and you can get around it in 3 hours. Be back home super quick.
Yeah, and also I think maybe I should have led with this just in terms of my background with Atlanta. I'm not from Georgia. I'm from Indiana, and I moved here. I spent a summer internship here in 2016, moved here in 2017. And since then, I've just been trying to take in as much golf as possible because I have a YouTube channel. I love to experience new places. I'm not a member at a private club. And so I'm really looking to kind of just get the full range of experience as much as possible. And I feel like I've covered a lot of ground in terms of the number of places that I've been able to check out. But the thing about Atlanta golf from a non-Atlanta native is just that there seems to be so many courses. Like, it is insane how many courses there are, and how many times someone has reached out to me on Instagram or elsewhere and just said, you need to come check out this place. Like, you need to come. Recently, one of my buddies, Devin, I think you ran into him out on the course. Devin was like, you got to come check out this place called Crystal Lake. I haven't been down there yet. I think it's a very affordable course.
Yeah.
I heard good things.
Yeah, that's where I grew up playing golf.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
When I first started, I was living down in McDonough, where Crystal Lake is, and yeah, dude, that's one of the courses I always play.
Dude, yeah.
You got to see that in Heron Bay. Heron Bay is a good one. Yeah, that's where I started playing at.
So I feel like even in our discussion so far, we've just kind of scratched the surface in terms of like covering and mapping out where you can play. We haven't talked about Peachtree City. You mentioned that there's a lot of club court courses that you can get access to. I don't even know, a lot of those courses.
So you mentioned Cobblestone.
Yeah.
So right out there in Cobblestone, probably like 10 minutes down the road, is Bentwater, which is a club court course. From what I've heard of, there's a guy. So whenever Matt Carter's came in town, there was a guy Matt David Hensley. I think he's either he's a member there or his dad's a member and out there, and I've seen some pictures of Bentwater, and it looks like it's in good shape. But if you get a membership with Bentwater, or there's a place in Woodstock or Eagle Watch, you get membership at both. So whatever, I guess amenities, whatever you have at Eagle Watch, you'll have at Bentwater. So you get two memberships for like basically the price of one. They cut the initiation fee in half. So you basically pay like $50 for like a 2-year contract, and you get two clubhouses to be part of. Which I've heard both courses are in great shape. Also, in Woodstock, you have Town Lake Hills. I've never played it, but I've heard good things about it. So that's before you even get to Cobblestone that you mentioned.
Right.
So, there's 3 courses that we haven't mentioned yet. That
right. And I mean, we can't mention every course, but even more courses are popping to mind as well that I still have yet to check out. Woodmont is one of those.
You haven't been to Woodmont yet?
No.
Dude, Woodmont is the Woodmont and Echelon are like.
It's that good. Really?
Yeah. Well, they're both just so consistent, dude. Like Echelon is, usually always in good shape. Dude, Woodmont is a little bit probably busier, just a little bit, but it's always the layout is super fun. It's always in good condition. And right now the greens are rolling good, like Cherokee good.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about Woodmont, and just for some reason haven't set up around there.
Yeah, I don't know why, but my buddy always books a tee time there. So at least every Saturday or Sunday,
wow,
or every other Saturday and Sunday, I'm out there. But yeah, it's a good course.
Yeah, so other courses that we've yet to touch on, Wolf Creek is one that I want to play, and it was actually covered by the No Laying Up guys. And one of my friends has spoken pretty highly of it recently. He said it's a place that he loves to play. I found a course on Golf Now, and I was kind of searching, and this is also just because of how popular golf has been during the COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
Golf courses are just like absolutely crushing it. Like they're so busy, busier than ever. Like,
oh yeah.
Anybody who has 2 arms and 2 legs is coming out of the woodworks as a golfer now.
Yeah.
And they're teeing off and making tee times. So it's hard to get tee times publicly, especially if you're like me and you're kind of a last minute planner and you're kind of waiting to see, am I going to be able to, can I go out and play 18 tonight? Let me look at 3 o'clock for a 5 o'clock tee time, which is what I do a lot of times. And so I've kind of been pushed to like find any place that I can on Golf Now looking. One of the courses that I found through there is a place called Reunion Country Club up in Hoshton, I believe.
Yeah.
And this course is pure, man. Like I want to get you out to Reunion Country Club. It's just phenomenal, dude. Like it's just beautiful. It's a decent drive, but it's not, for me, I think it was like 50 minutes. Yeah. But the greens were just like absolute glass when I went out there. So I think there's a lot of courses that at one point in time were private clubs, such as Reunion Country Club, that are now semi-private. You can make a public tee time there, but if you want to sign up to become a member, you can. Governor's Town Club is doing the member for a day.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
haven't taken advantage of that. I've not been out there for member for a day, but I've
yeah.
heard really good things. And I think for
I
like
went out
75
there.
bucks, you can go.
Yeah, I went out there. Had to be like maybe a month and a half ago. It was still hot. I remember that. Me and a buddy went out there. We were trying to because we were like, well, we just played echelon, so obviously we don't care about losing $90. So so let's try, try governors out. Yeah, so that's kind of out there in Akron, I think.
Okay.
Out towards that way. It's pretty nice. It's pretty, I mean, like you said, kind of popular for them. I mean, not popular. It's probably private for the most part. I
Yeah.
think every now and then you can catch them on Golf Now for $90, and be a member, quote unquote, for the day. But I mean, you get treated just like a member if you go out there.
Wow.
The guys, bring you a card and make sure it's clean and all that stuff. Layout's pretty fun. Greens were, I mean, everything. I think the greens had just gotten back
Punched.
to they just gotten back to normal after being punched
Nice.
like the month
Nice.
before.
That's
So
huge.
we got in at the right time. It was a good time though. We got a big old practice area, got a big old range, and have a little chipping green you can chip on from like 50, 60, 70 yards.
Dude, that's solid. I want to go
It's
check it out.
a pretty cool spot. I liked it.
Bro, what about the course? I believe this is the first time I ever played with you. Like, we had just
Ashton
met.
Hills.
Ashton
Yeah,
Hills,
I was
man.
there today. Actually, I just came.
No way. How is
Yeah,
it? It's in Covington?
yeah. I'm coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How's the course
It's in
right now?
good shape. I mean, greens are fast as always.
Nice.
It's overall. I mean, you can tell it's it gets a lot of business, just from what people drive around. Some people don't care about driving up near the tee box, especially some of the older guys who are like handicapped. They'll drive up close to the tee box, so you can see like some of the tire tracks. But oh no, it was in good shape, man. The greens were fast. Dude.
Jeez.
Don't leave it. Just like Cherokee, don't miss below the hole otherwise.
Firm and hot and dry.
Yeah, firm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean you can still leave a good ball mark if you're lucky enough like us to be young and be able to hit it high enough. But for some of those older guys, they got to run up there. The balls are going bye. But it was a good time though. I don't think I've been out there since we met. Like,
yeah. I hadn't either. No, I drove out there and played it and had a really good experience. And then I almost went back out there because it was one of the spots that had last minute tee time.
mm-hmm.
And then that's when I decided to finally check out Chateau Alon after like waiting for 2 years. And now I've been like obsessed with going back to that place. So but I got to get back to Ashton Hills. It's a good spot.
Ashton Hills not bad. You need to try the Oaks. It's right, probably about 10 minutes away from Ashton.
Okay.
The Oaks is a good spot. They got new greens a couple years ago, I think, and so the greens are in good shape right now. It's a fun course. Kind of it's a little more open than Ashton Hill because it's not surrounded by neighborhood and everything, so it's a little more open. I think it's a little more playable, but it's a good course. I like the Oaks. It's a good one. There's another one. Trying to think. So the Oaks, Cherokee. So further out, kind of where you're talking about Chastity, is Chicopee.
Chicopee Woods?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I tried it out one day after work on the way home. I mean, I guess for people who don't know, it's kind of towards Gainesville, the Buford, Gainesville area. So it's kind of, if you're in Atlanta, it's a bit of a drive. But for the price, I mean, the greens are in good shape. The course altogether is in really good shape. And there's there's 3 nines, I think, actually.
Yeah, I think that's right. I haven't been out there, but I've heard really good things.
Yeah. So there's depending on what day it is, you'll have a little bit different routing. But I mean, yeah, I went out there. I think I was coming home. Probably got off around 4:30. Booked a tee time for 4:30. Went out there and played it. And I was like, it may not be that great because it was only $30. So I was like, we'll see what it is. Drive up there, and I'm like, dude, this is in really good shape for
Wow.
because the
Hidden
clubhouse doesn't look
gem.
like the clubhouse doesn't look like anything special, but you get out on the course and you're like, all right, I wouldn't mind playing here, more often than not. I just haven't made it back since then, but yeah, it's a good course, dude. Chicopee Woods, everybody.
I also wanted to mention I recently finally got out to the Lake Lanier course. I think it's called Legacy
Okay, yeah.
Lanier or something, and I hadn't played that course for a while. I went over to the water park, I think, and I've driven past the course a few times, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just a stunning just to like see some of those holes. They're all cut along the water.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think like maybe 12 to 14 of the holes are along the water. It's an expensive round. It's one of those where it can push the $100 mark if it's on a weekend, but I think it comes with range balls and stuff. So that's another course to kind of check out, and it's kind of like a touristy type of course, resort course. And I think I played it at a tough time when the greens were, maybe recently punched or just going through a rough patch. So the greens weren't rolling great, but in terms of just like scenic golf, that course is crazy and it's super hard. So I definitely think I played the tips and that was a mistake.
Oh wow! Your first time, you must have been feeling that day. He must have had on his Puma camo shirt that day.
I did. I was wearing Puma, all Puma, and I just absolutely got eaten alive. I lost so many balls in the water.
That's what I think. Actually, I'm playing a fundraiser golf tournament next Friday. I think there.
Nice.
So I'll get to see what you're talking about.
Dude,
I don't think we're playing
it's
from tips
crazy.
though. So
It's crazy hard, man. It's borderline tricked up. Some
really?
of the fairways are like 10 yards wide at certain parts.
Oh my gosh.
And so like you better be hitting your target golf out there. And there's a lot of forced carries like off the tee. So
really?
it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. I think maybe if I go back a second time, having played it, knowing where to hit. And I also kind of ran up against darkness as I was trying to go live on Instagram for the last like 8 holes. So that made it a little bit rushed. I think I might need to play it again when I can take my time, and hopefully the greens are rolling a little smoother.
Heck yeah. So where do you have any golf trips coming up anytime soon?
I'm trying to think. So I'm
we're
getting ready. Well, yeah, we're going to Barnsley for sure. I'm planning a golf like tournament in Alabama in the end of October, right before Players Cup.
Okay.
So I'll have some Robert Trent Jones trail golf at Capitol Hill end of October, and then that fronts right up into our trip down to Orlando to play at Reunion Resort. So those are kind of the next 2 big things, in addition to hopefully playing Barnsley before then.
Heck yeah, dang, dude. You got the Creators Cup. It's the same week though, right?
It's the same. It's the weekend before.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I can, it kind of runs right up into Players Cup. If I could just stretch it out, it'd be like a full week long like golf trip.
Dang, dude, don't get too tired, bro. We're gonna need you.
Yeah. I want to ask you. So first of all, I kind of mentioned my top public courses. Do you have like your top any favorites?
Yeah, that's yeah. So we got Echelon, for everyone you can see.
Okay.
Echelon number one. Woodmont is a close second. Number 2. I would say, let's see, 3. What would 3 be? Talking about in Georgia, right?
Yeah, like Georgia public golf.
Okay, yeah. So let's see, Echelon, Woodmont. Dang, what's another one? I would say Bradshaw Farms.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Bradshaw.
Dang, I know. I have to forget about Bradshaw. I guess Bradshaw could be 3 or 4. It's so busy though. But I mean, just for people to know. I feel like there's another one right there. No, that was it. So Woodmont, yeah. Man, I would say, dang man, there's so much golf.
Yeah, it's tough to choose and rank them, especially.
I mean, Cherokee is consistent.
Yeah, Cherokee Run. Yeah, Cherokee Run's really good.
I wish I lived closer to it. I would probably play a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
And then I guess 5th could be let's see. Yeah, I need to look back at my Golf Now history. Well, Heritage is not bad. I
Okay.
don't know. We
We
didn't
didn't
do
even
Heritage.
no, we didn't cover
Heritage is
Heritage.
literally 15 minutes from my house.
That's awesome.
So yeah, Heritage golf links for those who know or don't know.
Yeah.
Probably look just outside, just on the other side of the perimeter of 285
Yeah.
east, kind of in that Tucker Decatur area. I mean, it's got 3 nines, huge, and a huge practice facility. I really don't know why I need to be slapping myself for not using that facility more often. But yeah, it's a huge 3 nines. The Traditions 9 is on the other side of the road. It's not, from what I've heard, is not as fun or great as the Heritage or the Legacy Link side, which is what you'll usually play. But man, if you're, I guess, do you have? Well, I guess give me your top five, and then we'll see what I'll ask you what your if you had somebody coming in town, where do you take them?
Yeah, yeah.
Give me
So
your
if I
top
had to
five.
rank, I mentioned the top group, but if I had to rank between those, I would, dude, I'm gonna actually put the Frog at number one. For just something about the
Really?
layout. I actually just love the layout of the Frog when it's in good shape, and this is
Mm-hmm.
all variable to whether or not the course is in good shape and
Dang,
everything. But
you had to play it when it was in good shape. I played it when they just sanded the greens the night
oh
before.
no, that's terrible. Yeah, yeah. So the thing about the Frog that I'll mention briefly is that it went through a rough patch
Yeah,
where for an extended period of time the course was sort of falling apart in terms of the maintenance and the greens. And
must have been
so,
when I came by.
yeah, exactly. So it was like in peak condition when I had played it,
Hmm.
maybe in the summer of 2019. And then
Okay.
in the fall of 2019, I went out there and I was like, yeah, what happened to the Frog? Like it just felt like a totally different course. They
Yeah,
had, yeah, like the
that's what
bunkers,
you
there's
were
like
telling me.
weeds are
I think
growing in the bunkers, and then
yes.
the greens got attacked by some type of like fungus, and so
Yeah.
it was a different course. Fortunately, they've righted the ship. It took them a little while, and now the course is kind of coming back. The bunkers are still a little bit rough, but they're going to work on those over the winter, and the greens are now back rolling true and pure. And there's just something about the layout. So I'm going to put the Frog at number one. I've loved that course.
Okay.
I'm going to go Echelon number two.
Okay.
And number three, I'm gonna go with Cherokee Run. Yeah, like we talked about, the
Dude, that's
greens
your
are just
spot, bro.
greens are carpet. I mean, some of the tee boxes are carpet as well. The fairway, I mean, the fairway, something about the grass out there. It's
Different.
just like,
It's
yeah, I mean,
different. It's
like
spot.
it's a fun course. I think also I enjoy playing that course because it's got character to it. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's some holes where it's very much risk reward. There's
Yeah.
a drivable par four, the 17th hole. You can drive the green if you want to, and then the par
Oh
fives can be
yeah.
reachable. So there's a couple, including number 18, you can get home in two. So
Oh
it just
yeah.
makes
Easily.
it kind of like, yeah, it makes it fun. It's a gettable course, but also extremely tough because of the greens. So that'd be three. I got to go Cobblestone number four. I just think it's
Oh yeah.
a
Scott Carlson.
classic course.
Yeah, I like that
Classic
too.
course. Really, really enjoy playing that one. Number five to round it out. That's tough. Um, I might. I think Bears Best is pretty solid if it's in good shape. I feel like that'd be a good solid five to
Pretty
kind of round
playable.
out. Yeah, round out the top five.
I just played Bears Best for the first time probably about 2 weeks ago.
How was it?
Um, it was in good shape. It was. I mean, I didn't think it was that busy, but when we got
Yeah.
out there, it's kind of when fall was kind of coming, so it was getting dark around. Well, it is getting dark around 7:30, 7:45 now. So we didn't get all 18 in, which was kind of upset me because we ran into like a bunch of groups that were just kind of going really slow. So we only got in like 15 or 16 holes. But overall, I mean, the layout was a lot more playable than what you would think. If you know anything about Jack Nicklaus courses, I mean, yeah, they're pretty playable. He leaves you room to the right. For most people off the tee, they go right. But from what I've seen at Players Cup, he'll some of the greens, some of the pin spots are kind of crazy. Which I mean, it's the same thing at Bears Best though. So there's some greens where they put the pins out there, some tricky spots.
Right.
But overall, I really liked it. Hopefully I can get back out there soon and actually play all 18 holes.
Wow.
That was a fun track, man. That was a cool spot.
Yeah, no, it's good. And I think, I mean, it's tough to choose a top five. I think that's the thing. That's kind of the theme of what we're getting at is like, we're struggling to kind of squeeze in the top five public courses because there's so many kind of right on that outside of five to 10 is just so solid that there's, they're all kind of close in quality if you're looking at that top 10 really.
Yeah. I would definitely agree. Yeah, they're all close, which is good. And then because nobody wants to say, "Oh, my top five is Chandler." It's like,
Yeah,
dude,
right.
you haven't played a lot
No,
of
yeah,
courses.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I mean, I would say once you get, once you throw Bobby Jones in there,
That's right. Yeah.
it can be a top 10.
Yeah, for
Um,
solid. Yeah, for
I
sure.
feel like in the summertime, even Chastain can sometimes be in the top 10. Um, let's see, I'm trying to think of another one. The Oaks or Ashton Hills could even be, depending on what time of year, top 10. There's so many. I mean, Chicopee. I mean,
Yeah, Chicopee
just
sounds
depending on
solid.
where people have been, you can easily find it
Where
up
would you
there.
put West Pines? Have you played West Pines?
Yeah, I played there a few times. I like the layout.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would put it in my top 10.
When did you play
Um,
there?
I was out there not too long, maybe 2 months ago, maybe.
Okay.
I
I
think
think I think recently they've gotten the greens rolling absolutely like dialed
even
in.
better.
I don't know if that's the case when you played it, but I've heard the greens are just like absolute mint right now.
Yeah, the greens are never bad when I play. It's just I guess the overall course condition in some places isn't up there with like an Echelon or a Woodmont or
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
Cherokee. Um,
yeah.
Cherokee, places like that, they're just throughout. You
Right,
just kind of
right.
know what to
Yeah.
expect. There's the
Consistent
actual
quality.
rough. Yeah, there's the actual rough. There's the actual fairway. The
Yeah.
greens are in good condition. Usually, most of the tee boxes. That's another thing about our top five. I think most of the tee boxes are intact. You're not hitting
Yeah.
off of dirt, even on the
Yeah.
par threes. Which is cool with Cherokee that there's for their par threes. There's two different sets of tee boxes. They can switch them out.
Yeah.
Which I think is always cool. I think more
That's
courses, if
right.
they can, if they have the space, should do that just so tee boxes don't get so beat up. You can only move the little tee box markers so many
Yeah.
places. you know.
I also want to throw in just we mentioned the top five, but if I could throw in maybe one sleeper pick and then one sort of like golf destination trip within Georgia. I'd say
mm,
for my sleeper pick, I'm going to go with a Shasta. It's a
yeah.
course that I didn't really know that much about until I actually drove past it when I was going on a hike up in northern Georgia, and I was driving through that area, and I just kind of saw a sign, and I was like, oh, okay, there's a golf course up here, and I got home and looked it up, and I was like, whoa, I feel like I just discovered like a treasure, like here,
Mm,
just like it's an hour maybe north, kind of next
right.
to those outlet malls, North Georgia premium outlet malls, and
Oh
so
yeah.
it's not really, this isn't a course that a lot of people that live in central like inside the perimeter would go to and play that often because it is a little bit of a drive. But in terms of like a sleeper pick, it's a semi-private course, but you just call them, you can get a tee time. And so if
Mm,
there's anyone listening to this that lives in the Atlanta area that hasn't played at Shasta, I would highly recommend. It's ACHASTA. Book around up there. You're not going to be disappointed. It's a Jack Nicklaus course,
ooh.
and it's in great shape right up there, and it's like 10 minutes away from Chastity, which is another quality course. So if you wanted to plan, a bomb day, you could, play Chastity and a Shasta, knock both those out, 36. That'd be a phenomenal day of public golf in Atlanta.
Heck yeah. You said a sleeper, right?
Yeah, sleeper under the radar that doesn't get enough attention.
Dang, dude, I'm trying to go back in my
Golf now
index
history.
here, yeah, and see or my Grant and see where I've been recently. I mean, I feel like a sleeper, man. Yeah, I would actually sleeper. Yeah, Heron Bay for
Heron
sure.
Bay.
Heron Bay is down there.
It doesn't get a lot of attention. I'm not that familiar with Heron Bay.
Yeah, it's kind of just for I guess sweet to me because that's where when I moved back from Macon, that's where I moved to in that community, and my buddy had a membership there, and so I used to go out and just hit range balls for like 2 hours, and then go pitch and putt for like an hour and come back and hit more balls. So like I went from like 100 to like 80, high 80s, low 90s real fast just in that summer of
Wow.
2016. Just playing so much golf at Heron Bay. So yeah, my sleeper would be Heron Bay for sure. Hopefully we can get down
Yeah.
there soon.
And then I also wanted to add a category, kind of like destination courses within Georgia, where these are a little bit more of a hike, but also potentially suitable for like a buddy's trip if you wanted to, host some friends from out of town or whatever. And I mean, you got to throw Barnsley on that list because that place is
Yeah,
just
probably
phenomenal. I
Barnsley.
mean,
Yeah.
it's weird because like when we talk about public golf Atlanta, Barnsley
Mm-hmm.
doesn't come to mind because it's in Adairsville. It's maybe an hour and 15 minutes. So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of think like, oh, but really, I mean, it's like for me, sometimes it might only be 20 minutes further away than a course like Echelon. So it's really not, but for some reason, I think there's just a mental like beyond an hour. I just tend to not think that it's really in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, Barnsley is a phenomenal place. They have like a hotel, I think, on site. You can do skeet shooting, a bunch of experiences. I think it might be a little bit more if you're looking for the stay and play. It might be a little bit more on the expensive side. I haven't stayed there overnight, but they have like a lot of places with fire pits, and you can kind of walk around, play cornhole, and they have like a pool, hotel, etc. You can take hikes there. It's suitable for like a romantic getaway if you want to take a significant other. They have some ruins there, and then the course is just like very, very, very nice. So yeah, I think that's kind of on the destination list. And then I also want to throw on there a recent one that I got to play. This is Macklemore, which is
Mm-hmm.
about 2 hours away. So this is a true destination from Atlanta. And I just made a day trip over. It's a private course,
Hey,
and
Olivia.
she can't hear you. And it's a private course, but you can get a tee time through kind of calling. And they ran this special on Instagram where they said, hey, if you like our Facebook page, this is Macklemore. So for those listeners, this is MCLEMORE. And you can call them and just say, hey, I like your Facebook page. Can I make a public tee time out there? And if the special is still going on, you can book a tee time out there. 2 hour drive. It's one of the most scenic courses I've ever played, period. It's in phenomenal shape. It's an awesome course. So if you have the chance to go out there, it's well worth the 2 hour drive. That course is phenomenal. And then I also mentioned Old Toccoa Farm earlier. That's about an hour and a half away. Kind of has Sweeten's vibes to it in terms of the green complexes. I feel like that's a course if you haven't played, like we got to get you there because you like
Yeah.
Sweeten's, and like the green complexes are phenomenal. Like it's an architectural type of like course where places like the Fried Egg, Andy Johnson, the Fried Egg, they've written articles about the course because
Oh,
of
wow.
just like the different strategy involved in it and how it's not particularly long, but it's a very difficult course. And there's just so much variety in terms of the holes out there. So Old Toccoa Farm's another one. So yeah, there's destinations as well if you're willing to make the drive.
Yeah. I'm see. I don't. Is Macklemore? Is that technically in Georgia still?
It is technically in Georgia, I believe. I
Okay,
think it's in Rising Fawn, Georgia, kind of close
gotcha.
to 2 hours from Birmingham and 2 hours from Knoxville, I believe.
Oh man, I forgot to mention St. Marlowe. Dang.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about St. Malo. I haven't played it, but I'm very familiar with it.
There's so many courses, man. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. That's a lot of courses. In Georgia.
And we haven't even
So
talked about
we've
private. We've only talked
yeah,
public. So
yeah, exactly. So we've almost spent like an hour just on public golf. Here in Georgia.
yeah, that's right.
So hopefully that gives you guys a lot of options if you're visiting the Atlanta or Georgia area, whether you're inside the perimeter or outside. I mean, there's so many options. I mean, just hop on the supremegolf.com or hop on Golf Now, and no matter where you are in Georgia, there's golf. So just wanted to let everybody know there's some good golf to be played here in Georgia.
There's a lot of
I'm
golf.
sure.
I mean, the fact that we're not able to talk about even a lot of courses that are probably worth mentioning that I'm sure have escaped both of our minds just shows the depth of it. So it's a very deep state in terms of the public golf.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm gonna let you go and get back to your wife and making sure she's not upset with you for talking golf.
I could talk golf forever, man. This is fun. It's fun to talk Atlanta golf, and I think this gave us a reason. The No Laying Up pod gave us a reason to kind of come out and say, hey, we want to give a fair shake to Atlanta golf and kind of provide a map out there so that if people want to play places, they can hear and listen. And if people are from Atlanta, we can kind of pay homage to some of the places that are pretty special that are accessible to the public.
For sure, man. Yeah, man. Just gonna probably wrap it up for us, but just once again, everybody, thanks to my guy, Dougie Barnard. Go follow him on Instagram. You can tell him your Instagram handle. I don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah. It's my name. It's Dougie Barnard on Instagram and same on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel where I cover some of these courses that we've talked about and D hunts in some of those videos as well. So go and check that out.
Heck yeah. And I am D Hunt Golf. You can follow me at D Hunt Golf on Instagram and also Blkdmnd Golf, BLK Diamond Golf on Instagram as well. So for those who don't know, I don't think you know too much about this. I haven't said too much about it since I'm mentioning the name. I just started Blkdmnd Golf, going to hopefully create a brand around it. Just want to do something on my own. I had another podcast with a buddy of mine, which I mean, it was cool. It was great. We just had I just have a different view of what I want to do. I also want to cover, some fitness stuff too, as well as doing some more vlogs and stuff like that. So just a little bit different direction. So I wanted to kind of branch out and do my own thing and also create some, I guess, like apparel and stuff like that for.
That's awesome, man. I'm excited for the brand.
So I want to thank you for joining me on my first episode.
I'm honored, man. Honored.
Heck yeah. And then, two Atlanta boys talking Atlanta golf. Hopefully we'll, I'm sure we'll have Dougie back on because we have so many courses to play. He's already told me about 4 or 5 that I haven't played yet. So yeah, man, appreciate it. Appreciate your time, bro.
Awesome. Thanks, Dion.